Welcome to Read, Eat, Travel, Repeat, the book club and podcast with your hosts, Sarah, Kit, and Marianne, three friends who talk about all things books, food, and travel. Welcome, readers, eaters, and travelers to Read, Eat, Travel, Repeat, the podcast and book club where books take us beyond the page. I'm Sarah.
I'm Kit.
And I'm Marianne. Today is our big year-end episode, and we are looking back at the books that shaped our reading lives this year. We'll be sharing our top reads of the year, the stories that surprised us, the books we can't stop recommending, and maybe even a few we think that deserve more love.
As always, this episode will be mostly spoiler-free. So if a book you haven't read yet is mentioned, don't worry. We'll give you a little spoiler warning before we say anything that could ruin it for you. And as always, general disclaimer, we are adults who say adult things. So you have been warned.
We may all be in education, but we do swear like sailors.
Oh, we don't swear at school, though.
No,
No,
more like
no.
because
you have to hold it in all day, and then
Yeah,
you come
you get
at night
home and you're like,
we swear like teachers who.
Yes. So here's what's coming up in this special episode: our top 5 books of the year, some rapid fire reading reflections, overall top recommendation for the year, and our most anticipated reads for 2026.
So to
Okay,
kick it
so
all off,
I am no math expert, but it looks like Sarah has 6 books. Are we supposed to have? Are you cheating?
Dang it. I did put 6,
Six.
didn't I? I put a couple honorable mentions too.
You
'cause
did.
I was
Sarah was like,
When I'm
5 books or 8.
when I'm
Yeah.
passing out like worksheets or whatever, I always count wrong.
I do too.
I tell the kids, that's why I don't teach math. 'Cause I can't
Same thing.
count.
I teach English for a reason, kiddos.
Yes, exactly.
Seriously. Legit. All right. On that shaming note,
Yeah,
Sarah,
I can't decide.
do you want to go first and
okay.
share your not top 5?
Okay.
Your top
Yes.
6 with some honorable mentions.
I know.
Okay,
my
okay.
two of mine are like the top, like totally tied for top.
Okay,
That's
then you could-
probably
that-
my
That's
I have a
yeah.
question-
So it's,
I have a
it's
question.
1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
yes.
Yeah.
But not the
I-
top 2 that are on there. One of my favorites was Variation, Rebecca Yarros. Because after reading Fourth Wing, which I love, and I did not put Onyx Storm on here because I thought that was a little too predictable. Reading her other stuff is so good. She's such a good writer. And I really, really liked that. So yes, I put that. Rebecca can also write so much more than just dragon porn, because that's what my coworkers call it. A couple of our male coworkers, when we
mean-
talk about reading Fourth Wing in the lunch, she's like, dragon porn? We're like, stop. It's not dragon porn. Also, probably my favorite rom-com was The Glitch, Leanne Glade. That was
Okay.
one where it was very unique rom-com, where it was like time bending, 2 separate timelines at the same time, but the way it came together was so unique, unlike anything I've ever read before. And then Marsh King's Daughter, Karen Dion, set in the Upper Peninsula. Read that for my book club. It was just so unique, and in northern Michigan, and the main character was a total badass. As she tried to hunt her father down, who's an escaped convict in the Upper Peninsula.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Listeners by Maggie Stiefvater, because I love everything that Maggie writes, and I really actually liked this one a lot. But my 2 top ones, and I put this on here, we've talked The Poppy Fields forever. That's still probably my most recommended book. Second most, because the first one is, Poppy Fields by Nikki Erlich. Everyone I talk to, I'm like, you have to read it. And don't read the reviews on Goodreads, are very deceiving. I don't know if you guys have looked at them. It's not super high ranking. It's like 3.5.
Really?
Because 90% of the people who read it are expecting science fiction.
Oh, okay.
And they're all like,
Fair.
all the bad reviews are all like, well, I was expecting it to be more about the actual Poppy Field facility, and this is science fiction. And I'm like, no. Did you read what it's about? And they're like, I didn't expect it to be a road trip. I'm pretty sure it says road trip right in there. So I feel like that book is getting some unfair reviews when really it should be right up there with 4.5 stars for sure. My top read, which I read in January, and so we were not doing this podcast, so I never talked about it, was Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Has a movie coming out about it. It is one of the best books I've ever read. And I'm not normally I like science fiction, but I prefer to watch science fiction than read it. There's a movie coming out this year. I highly recommend reading the book first. Don't watch the trailers because I think the trailers give away too much.
Ooh, really?
I watched the
Okay.
first trailer and I was like,
You're
"What?
like,
You can't see
no.
that already?"
Yeah.
So, Ryland Grace is the main character. He wakes up in space and he doesn't remember how he got there.
Oh.
And then you find out very quickly he is on this ship called the Project Hail Mary and he is supposed to save Earth. But it's kind of told his current and then also as he remembers how he got there. And it's so scientific but written so well that it doesn't feel over my head. Like he has to explain all these things and all that he has to do and I can't even like tell you much about it because it'll spoil it, but
Mhm.
such a good book. As my daughter who read it, and we teach it in high school now. We teach it in the
Okay.
12th grade.
Oh,
My
wow.
daughter read it. She said, "This book tickled my brain." It was one
Oh,
of
wow.
those
Oh,
that
yeah, I
kinda,
remember that.
like,
Yep.
makes you think and sticks with you long after, but super realistic because there's something on the sun, like particles, an alien form that are like particles on the sun that are causing the sun's temperature to decrease by, like, 3 degrees, which would be devastating for
Yeah,
Earth if
it's
that
huge.
happened. So they've sent this ship into space to figure out basically the Project Hail Mary. Like we are to save Earth.
Mhm.
So, but it's not your typical like alien science fiction. Super smart. Just hands down one of the best I've ever read. I
Well,
recommend this book to everyone. This and The Poppy Fields are the 2 books I've
yeah.
recommended all year. So, and then yes, I had a couple honorable mentions only because they're fantasy and I just feel like fantasy's never really my top read. But also the
Yeah.
top ones I read, the Heartless Hunters series, Crowns of Nyaxia series, and The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Um, second one's coming out that I'm looking forward to. So that's my top
Top
11
5.
or whatever. 9, top
Listen,
9,
you
I
were
guess.
really close to a top 5.
I
You're,
was.
like,
I was.
almost there.
I
'Cause
almost doubled
5
it,
is basically 7, which is 9.
which is that.
So,
Which, by
yeah.
the way, I read 78 books this year.
I don't know how
I
many
Between
I
have
read.
reading
no
I'll
and
have to
idea
take a
how
look.
many
listening,
you
and
read.
so it's really hard to pick, like, your top
Yeah.
5. Top 10 would have been very easy. Top 5 was very hard.
Yeah.
So,
Now,
all right.
I always, when talking about forgetting, I'm pretty good about logging my Goodreads books because the fact that I'm reading them on Kindle.
Yeah, it kinda does it for you.
Except on NetGalley, you have to have to do it. But I'm
Yes.
really bad about logging audiobooks,
Oh, that's
be- especially if it's
yes.
something I've already read. So,
Mhm.
it's because it's a weird thing that you have to do in order to log a book that it
Yeah.
just was.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not worth it. I've already read the book, so
Mhm.
I listened to it too. But oh well, it's not going to get logged in as a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
Trying to
should
find one.
mention as well that with these lists, we did not count our rereads. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I
Scorpio
did not.
Races
Yeah.
would have been the top book. That's the top book I read
That
every
would have
year.
been
But
3 episodes in a row of us just being
yeah.
like, "And by the way, have we told you
Have we
about
told you we love
Puck?"
this? But
And
even like I reread Devil in the White City. I reread a
yeah.
couple older and I was like, that's also one of my favorite books. And I'm like,
Yeah,
no, that's yeah. So
for
all
sure.
right. So Ma, what do you have? You're next.
Okay, so for me, one of my favorites was "Wish You Were Here" by Jodi Picoult. It's impossible to describe this book without spoilers. I have a few books like that. There's just about halfway through the book, there's this event that just changes it all, and it's one of those books I kept thinking about long after I read it,
Mhm.
and also left me thinking about our reality. And again, it's hard to explain it without giving it away,
Mhm.
but just totally, totally made me just question everything and kept thinking about it long after it was over. And I have a few of those books that they're hard to explain without giving them
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
That's how I feel
Um,
about Project Hail Mary. It's like, just read it. I can't really tell
I
you
just
or give it
it's
away.
great. Don't watch the
Mhm.
trailer, read the
and
book.
And see,
Yes.
I wonder if there's like well, because the next 2 books, they both kind of would fit in some sort of subgenre. I don't know what would call it a mystery or what, but in both, so Finding Grace, again, I can't explain it. There's something that happens at the beginning. It has a really unique narrator, and the main male character builds this whole web of lies. And it's like, like building a house of cards, and
Yeah.
one false move and it all comes tumbling down. And so I don't know what you would call that genre, because it's not, it's not like fantasy. It's not like really a mystery. It's just he made a mistake and told a lie, and then, when you tell
Mhm.
one lie, you gotta tell another lie to cover it up, and then it just keeps on going, and if at some point you forgot who you lied to and what you lied
Yes.
about, then
Yep.
Yes.
it all tumbles down. And so that was, Finding Grace. I forgot to write down the name of
I would
the
say who's the author because there's, like, several. There's
Yeah, I was
Loretta
gonna say.
Rothschild
Yes, that's the one,
or
Loretta
what okay.
Rothschild,
I'll say
okay?
there's K.L. Slate. There's, like, 6
Yeah.
books called Finding Grace on it. Okay,
And
so
it was I read it as an arc, but it is out now, and like I said, I read it and I listened to it, loved it, just it made you just think about, like I said, the whole thing about lying and how it can just ensnare
Mhm.
you, just because it becomes, like, exponential. That one lie becomes 2, becomes 4, and so on.
yeah.
Mhm.
Look at me mathing. Are you
Look
impressed?
at you.
Better than my math.
Yeah,
5
yeah.
becomes 7, becomes 9,
9.
becomes can I talk
Okay.
about all 78?
Yes. The next one is Saoirse by Charlene Erdiguys. This one is an arc. It comes out in March. So I don't know if that's cheating, but it's another book where the main character builds a web of lies. Eventually, all crash down. I was literally crying at the end. My heart was racing, and most of it's set in Ireland. She's actually an American who goes to Ireland on a stolen passport and assumes a new identity there. And just I really love this, so definitely put it on your TBR. Like I said, it was an arc, but, it comes out, I think, in March, which is appropriate for a book set in Ireland
Mhm.
since,
Mhm.
St. Patrick's Day. Um,
Does
it's a
it
l
ever say where in Michigan she's from? Just because 'cause I'm curious.
Probably, but
I
I don't
know it I
remember off the
that's what
top
I
of
one of
my
the things
head.
I caught
Like,
on. I was like, "I have to
immediately, you're
read this
like,
because
Yeah.
she's
"Where?"
from Michigan and she moves to Ireland." Like, I need this book. So,
E Probably, but I don't recall off the top of my head.
I'm
I
gonna
just know
Google
most of
it.
it takes place in Donegal, in, like, Northwest Ireland, Dublin and Donegal, but I don't remember where in Michigan, because you gotta remember, I can barely find Michigan on a map. I am geographically challenged,
it's
to a
the
certain
mitten.
extent.
It's literally
Y
one of the only sh
Yeah, yeah, I
Your
don't know.
state and my state are very, like, easily
Easily
Yeah.
recognizable.
identifiable. The author does not specify a specific
Okay.
town,
I'll be
but
Okay.
curious.
the
I'm gonna
author
read it.
spent a lot of her childhood in Michigan, so I bet if you're from
I would
so
say
so
I'm
says the AI robot, but, like, I bet if you're from Michigan,
Yeah.
you'd be able to, like, pick out, like, "Ooh, that sounds like,
Yeah.
this town or this
Right.
location,"
yes.
or whatever. You could probably,
I
like,
was gonna say challenge accepted.
challenge accepted,
I could
Sarah,
probably at least figure out the area of the state.
and then you can write, like, a really detailed Reddit post about it. That
Yes.
for a podcaster years
Yes.
in the future to find, like
They'll be
I did
like,
with that
"I wonder
Bisbee
if it
post. I was like,
yes.
"This person did all the research
I
for
love
me."
it. Yeah.
I have It's a Love Story in pretty much every other book by I think I read all of Annabelle Monahan's backlist this year. The first one I read was Nora Goes Off Script. Her characters they're romances, but they're not like the little bubbly 27-year-olds, that are just
Mhm.
like going out with a guy who's just like perfect. It's a love story. It had me crying, and I couldn't even tell you why. It's about these 2 people who are both working in Hollywood. The main female character is a screenwriter, and the guy is a cinematographer. They go back to it's like a thing where they go back to his parents' house and like he has brothers, and they're all like real gregarious, and he's much more introspective. And
Mhm.
like she doesn't quite fit in, and like both of them are people who feel like they're on the outside looking in. My review says my book made me cry, and I can't really tell you why. It's because it's about 2 people who always feel like they're on the outside looking in. They don't fit in, but they fit together perfectly. Enemies to lovers in just one bed. There's something about her books they're just like light and happy books. Okay, they're just kind of like Catherine Center, where they're a closed door, um, but they still have a little bit of depth to them. So I love that one. But my number one book, it's cliche because it feels like everybody and their brother recommended this book, but it was, I think, number one on Goodreads, historical fiction, was Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's historical fiction about women astronauts and, well, astronauts in general. And this is another one that just at the end had my heart racing because you just don't know how it's going to end until the very, obviously, till the like almost the last page. And I just love the character. And it's like one of those books I'd love to read again for the first time because
Mhm.
uh, I just didn't know how it was going to end. It could go a couple different ways, and my heart was literally like pounding at the end. So to me, that's the sign of a good book. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
what about you, Kit? What you got?
I limited myself to 5, but it was hard. I like when I was
You're a
trying to
better
figure out.
person than I am then.
Listen, I did some like brutal chopping of my list because I did horrible keeping track on Goodreads this year. Like I just for whatever reason was not working for me. I kept a spreadsheet like a total nerd,
Yep.
divided out by month, and so I read on that spreadsheet, which only goes from March until today,
Right.
81 books. So
Okay.
that doesn't count what I read
What you
January
read
and
the
February.
first yeah.
And I know I read some books. So I'm going to say like I might have hit close to 100 this year. But
Yeah.
who really knows because I'm bad at counting. But I went through and like highlighted all the ones where if I could tell you the main characters and the plot, like if they like
Right.
took up permanent residence in my head, that was one of my top books.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Because they're
That's to
yeah.
me, that's
Mhm.
if if I could tell you about the characters' names 6 months
Yes.
or a year later,
Yep.
absolutely.
And if I
That's
Yep.
remember who the authors are, because a lot of times I
yes.
pick a book up based on the cover, because the covers, everyone always says, like, don't judge a
Yep.
book by the cover.
But you
Nope.
do.
Librarian says, judge the book by the cover. Those people are
Yep.
paid
Absolutely.
money to make them,
Yes.
to entice you in.
Yes.
So judge away. If it looks good to you, pick it up. But I don't like, a lot of times I read and then it just disappears from
Right.
my brain because it's replaced by something else. So my top 5 are ones that, like, if you asked me, what is this book about? I could tell you without having to refresh my memory. That's how I picked my top 5. And I did some brutal cutting because my first list was like 15 books deep. And then I was
Yeah.
like, this group is similar, like along the same vein, like
Mhm.
which is my favorite unhinged romance. That's the one I'm gonna pick. Like, so I did a little creative cutting as well, but I did get myself down to 5. I also like Marianne's caveat in your books when you always go no spice.
Yeah.
Because and I feel like that just needs like a general caveat. Marianne, no spice, low
Mhm.
spice, and
Well, no,
then
I've read some spicy
all the
ones.
spice.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
comparatively. Like it's always like that's a Marianne level spice versus
A kit level
a kit
spice.
level toaster full sack spice. Those are different things, different spices. It's like a whole different spice rack.
Mhm.
All right, my top 5, and I switched my order around so that my favorite book is at the end now. The first one was Wandering Wild by Lynette Noni. I read this one as an arc. It's been out now for quite a
Mhm.
bit. I read it back in March, and it was one of the first books I read when we started the podcast. And I loved it so much. And for me, it was like more than just like a great book. It was like, oh, we're back into books again. Like it like was like an
Yes.
like
Yes.
we're doing the thing that we love. But this is the one where the girl wins a trip to go on a Bear Grylls style adventure
Yes.
with
Okay.
a celebrity who has like really messed up his reputation. So everyone's got a little something, but she hates this dude. Her
Right.
friend entered her in the contest. He has a DUI. Her parents were killed in a DUI accident, unrelated, but she's like, this motherfucker. And then they're sent out in the woods together. And there's a plot twist at the end that I was not anticipating because I thought this was going to be a very straightforward kind of like enemies to lovers adventure thing. But no, the twist at the end of this one, top notch. So my book number 2 on my list is one that we've already heard about, so I'm not going to go too deep into it, but it is The Poppy Fields by Nikki Erlich. I read this one in May. And the quote from my review just says, "The Poppy Fields is probably the one that will stick with me the longest and the one I will likely reread multiple times," which I
Mhm.
already have.
Mhm.
And I found myself thinking about it long after I finished reading. Also true, because it's one that I recommend all the time. And every
Yes.
time I
Yes.
recommend it, I feel like I give it a slightly different recommendation.
Yeah.
Like, and also this.
Yeah.
And when you said you were talking about the reviews earlier, I hopped on Goodreads And one of my former library colleagues gave it 4 stars. She's a very critical critic, I guess. Like she tends to go lower than me on everything. But she goes, I couldn't put it down. It hooked me right away. It felt like a cocktail that goes down easy. And then someone was
I
like,
like
and you
that.
didn't give it 5 stars? And she's like, oh, any review you read of mine, you just need to add a star. She's like, because I'm critical right when I read it. And then later on, when I start hyping it up, it's always like, it should have been higher.
That's what I was thinking too. I've
But
been reading that a lot lately of people who are like, I gave it 4 stars to begin with, and then when it marinates with you for a week, and then you
yes,
realize it was really good, and so you go back and you up your stars.
I think that this
And
is
I'm
one
like,
of
"That's
those
very
books.
true."
But I
Yeah.
absolutely love this book and I loved our conversation about it.
Yes.
My next book is part of a series. It's the Rebel Blue Ranch series. It is done and dusted by Lila Sage. This is the first book of the series. It is the one that I liked the best. I've read the whole series at this point. Highly, highly recommend. Each book focuses on a different one of the like family or friends. There's lots of romance, a little bit of spice. It's not as spicy as I go a lot of the time, but it's so sweet. And the main characters in this one are phenomenal. Like I love Luke. Luke is probably my favorite like main character from the entire year because he's kind of a grumpy cowboy, but also is like angry at himself for being like very sweet. Like he's like, God damn it, I don't want to like this girl,
Yeah.
but I do. And then he just does really nice stuff for her, which she needs. So I love that one. The next one, I picked my favorite unhinged book of the year. I did not go super, super dehinged because we were talking about,
Dehinged.
I forget which book we were talking about. It was the Halloween one where like the Halloween. How could I possibly forget? Where I
Yeah.
was talking about how you either have to be all smut and just like don't even bother giving me context, or you have to give me a story that's believable that includes really weird smut. Like you can't, and that one book like just struggled to do both. This is the book that I read that did both perfectly. Like it was like the perfect balance of like, oh, I'm reading an actual story that has like
Right,
backstory
right.
and all the plot points make full sense. But also there's a demon in your hot spring and you're going to have sex with him really fast and you don't even know why, but you're like, sure. You're like a Stockholm syndrome's like dream girl. You like walk in and you're like, ooh, he's got wings. And like, you're not going to second guess that there's a demon in there. So I picked, oh no, there's an incubus in my hot tub. It's by Ember Holt. And it's the first book in the Getting Cozy with Demons series. And I don't know why I haven't gone back and read anymore, but I'm going
Yeah.
to. I think it's because we moved on to like, we were like, let's pick an even weirder one for next month. But it's so funny. There's tons of smut. And it's set in Colorado. One of my favorite spots is called the Strawberry Hot Springs. I don't know that this is necessarily supposed to be that hot springs, but it's definitely in the same vein of like a hot springs with kind of an old facility on it. And
Yeah.
it's all beautiful and stone. And like, so I was like, I could picture the location very clearly. And Sylvia and Apollo are a full-blown disaster, and I do like when characters are like, "Oh, you are just a mess, but you're gonna be fun to read about."
Right, right.
So that was my top unhinged read
All right.
of the year. And then lastly, my favorite book of the year, top recommendation, I went with Tusk Love by Thea Guanzon and Critical Role. I picked this one because it was so much fun to read. It got me into watching Critical Role, The Mighty Nine, which now there's like a cartoon that goes with it. So it kind of became this like gateway into a whole nother like hobby and interest that I didn't know I was going to.
Yeah.
So that's my top
Good.
recommendation for the
Good.
year. Rolling on to our
Our rapid
traditional
fire
questions.
questions.
All right. What character do you want to go on a road trip with? Sarah.
I said Helena Pelletier from The Marsh King's Daughter. She's the main character, and she's kind of a badass, like knows how to get along in the woods. So I feel like if we were ever trapped somewhere, like I'm thinking, long road trip, then I wouldn't worry about finding food and shelter and all that.
Yeah.
She would take care of me. How about you, Marianne?
Vanessa from Atmosphere. I think I said this on an earlier podcast, but like she's an astronaut. Same. I mean, she could fix anything. I mean, she had to fix like the space thing when she was out in
Yeah.
space. Like she could fix anything, but she's also got a cool car. She's super confident. I think she'd be really interesting to go on a road trip with.
Yeah.
How about you, Kit?
I went the stereotypical reader
The hot
direction.
cowboy.
Hot cowboy. Like, you're like, this person can keep us alive in the wild. She
Yeah.
can save us in space. Anyways, Luke Brooks is super hot and looks good in jeans. And this is what I wrote the first time because he was my answer the
love
first
this.
time too. Was not even a competition. He has that dirt road, bench seat, classic country, good snacks mentality. I know we're going to have a good time. Plus, he likes to go find a good swimming hole and go hang out at and like make out at and do
Makes
more
sense
things.
to me.
I picked the cute cowboy for a
Mhm.
road trip, was my
Mhm.
answer. Very, very intellectual of me.
Hey.
Anyways, moving on. Any place you'd like to go in any of these books?
Oh, wait.
Yes, rolling backwards. Rewind, yes.
Wait, no. I'm just looking at Sarah's places she wants to go. She picked 2. Do I get to pick 2 too?
No,
Because I
I'll
have
take
2.
one off. I've already
I
said
know,
in one of
I
our
have 2.
podcasts.
Okay, well, I'm gonna pick 2. Too bad. I'm gonna
Okay.
pick 2.
My
You broke the
place I
rules
would
before. I'm gonna break the rules now.
the place I would like to go is Cape Cod. I have not been there since I was a kid. Like I barely remember it. So when I was young, I was probably 10. My parents, we took a trip out east and did like up and down the East Coast.
Yeah.
So I remember kind of those places, but I haven't been back. So
Yeah.
Cape Cod is where Variation takes place. She's in a summer cottage in Cape Cod, and it just sounds amazing.
Yeah,
And then,
we
yes,
went to.
I put the Upper Peninsula as well because the UP, I just think it's really pretty.
Yeah.
Now you should give me points for knowing what the UP stood for. So
I know. Instead of going,
can't
Sarah,
find
you
it
want
on a map, but
you
got
just
it.
want to go up. I was like,
I
you
knew
need
what
to
that
go up.
meant. Even though I don't know if I could find it on a map, I knew what it meant.
Yeah.
We went to Cape Cod 3 years ago. Same thing, just because I've read about it in so many books. It's like kind of so different like than the beaches I'm used to here.
Yep.
And also we went to Hyannisport, which my dad was a
Mhm.
huge Kennedy fan, so I grew up with like all these Kennedy books around the house. So like getting to like barely glimpse the Kennedy homestead from down a driveway was like super cool. So anyhow, go
Yeah.
ahead.
It's your turn. I said,
My turn?
I added in the
it's you.
UP just
Okay.
because.
Put it back in.
Yeah, I put it back in.
Haha, F you. I put it back
Okay,
in.
Well, for someplace completely different that I've never been to but before, I would pick the Galapagos Islands from Wish You Were Here. It just sounds beautiful and wild and intriguing. And also, I've never been to South America, so I mean, I would like to like add another continent to my list.
Yeah.
So I would pick that one, and then the one I would go back to is Donegal in Northwest Ireland. I was there many, many moons ago when I was in my 20s. It's beautiful and wild, and I actually hitchhiked there, which is like looking back, my children would probably never believe that I actually hitchhiked, but I had to. I didn't read the bus schedule right, and
Like,
I took
in my defense, I had to do it.
I took the bus out to go see like the Atlantic from where I was staying, like the cliffs and stuff, and didn't realize there wasn't another bus going back to where I was staying. So I had no choice but to hitchhike, but it was very safe back then. I don't know what back then, so I don't know what it's like now. I'm assuming it's probably pretty much the same, but a lot of Saoirse, the book Saoirse that I liked, takes place in Donegal, and I would love to go back up there. How about you, Kit?
Nice. I picked the hot spring with the hot demon. Classy of me again. I love the hot springs in Colorado. They're awesome. The less commercial ones like Strawberry Park that I was talking about are great. That one's in Steamboat Springs if anyone is traveling to Colorado. Highly recommend. It's less commercialized, less crowded. Super cool. You can sleep in a canistota wagon.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
That's like you can camp in one, which is super cool. But I like the idea of not just the hot spring, but like a potentially haunted, definitely demon infested hot spring. Like I want the experience of like the supernatural If I have to call the Winchesters to help me out, so be it. But I like the idea of like, ooh, this hot spring has a little something else. Maybe a demon. Who knows? So that's what I picked. I picked the hot spring from, oh
All
no,
right.
there's an incubus in my hot spring. I also like that the title gives you the entire, you know exactly what you're getting into.
Yeah,
Like, there's an
exactly.
incubus in the hot spring. Enjoy. All right, dinner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. What character do you want to have dinner with? Sarah.
I said Ryland Grace from Project Hail Mary only because I don't feel like this is a spoiler because the book's it's a happy ending book. He saves the world.
Yeah.
He saves Earth. Actually, he saves galaxies. So I feel like he would have a lot of interesting things to say. It's less
Yeah.
food based because he ate a lot of astronaut food, but
Yeah. You're like, I don't want that.
and it's really gross sounding the way he eats. But the conversation, the dinner conversation, I would be like, so how
By
did
the
this
way.
happen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you learn what his previous profession was. It's
Ooh.
fascinating. So then you're like, how
Teaser.
did you go from
How
here
did you get here?
to saving the world,
Yeah.
saving the whole universe, multiple universes, actually.
For
So
sure.
Is that
Yeah.
Univi? No.
Univi.
He saved the galaxy.
Galaxy.
Univi.
I like that. Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Yes.
The old
yes.
galaxy.
Yeah.
All right, Marianne, how about you? Who you have
I
dinner
will
with?
pick Dan Finnegan from It's a Love Story because his family lives out in like a small town in Long Island. It's not like it's not like the Hamptons where it's all wealthy and rich. It's like they ride their bikes downtown and they get like blueberry muffins from the little bakery and like there's like a little farms and actually you'll see a little like what's the word you're thinking about? Honor system, like farm stand where
Oh,
they
yeah.
buy like fresh peaches or whatever. He has this big extended family, and his mom's always cooking for all the family. And I felt like it would just be like simple, hearty food, not like anything fancy. And I felt like he'd be
Yeah.
interesting to talk to too. He's a cinematographer in Hollywood, and I think he'd be someone really interesting to talk to.
Yeah.
And how about you, Kit?
When I was going back to figure out my answer to this one, I realized that all 5 of my books, like for the month that I featured them, was like who I'd want to have dinner with. And I thought that was like, I was like, oh, my top 5 dinner dates. But I
Ooh.
decided to pick Oscar and Gwen from Tusk Love. Specifically, there's one scene where they are in like a little taverny pub kind of place, but like they're upstairs in the room. And Oscar just needs to get the hell out of the room. Like she is driving him up the wall. And he goes, there's a place that has the best sandwiches in the world down the street. And just like goodbyes. He's like, I'm out. Gonna go with the sandwiches. Huge lie. There is not the best sandwiches in the world. The poor man that makes the sandwiches is like, the fuck are you talking about? When Oscar's like, I'm here for the best sandwiches. Because now he's committed to the lie. However, every meal with these two, and very specifically when they're eating these sandwiches, I would be like, I just want to see the interaction because he is committed to the best sandwiches in the world. She does not want to make him feel bad. So now she's committed to the best sandwiches in the world. These sandwiches are mid at best. And to me, that I just want to be in the middle of like a conversation of 2 people who are doing their best to just like hold it together and eat these sandwiches. And I would dive right into that entire situation. I'm like, me too. These sandwiches are great. I think it would be the most fun. So I picked Oscar and Gwen. Plus, I kind of want to hear like Gwen's got some crazy history with the whole fire wielding thing.
Right.
And Oscar has traveled the entire kind of like known world for like, I'm blanking on the name of what this world is called, but he's seen kind of everything. So I definitely want to hear about all their adventures and travels as well, but also just would love to witness like the chaos of trying to convince the other person that you really do love a sandwich.
Right.
That you know is not good. But you just don't want to hurt each other's feelings.
Good.
Hilarious.
So now to recap our top reads. My one top read was 2. Poppy Fields, Nikki Ehrlich, and Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir.
So close. You're so close.
Marianne, your top read was?
I'm going to go with Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Just was totally invested in it and really enjoyed it. How about you, Kit?
I went Tusk Love by Thea Guanzin. I can't stop talking about it. So that makes it my top read.
You pretty much haven't stopped talking about it this whole podcast.
I
No.
literally, like, it pops like, it's
I think
so funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we've looked back. Now we got to look forward. The TBR never sleeps,
I know,
as they
right?
say. Continues to grow. We keep feeding it. 2026 is already packed with so many good books coming out. I know we're all on NetGalley and Edelweiss, like requesting books at all times. So here are our most anticipated picks for the new year. Sarah.
Well, mine is already out, and I was just glancing at
Also,
my
Sarah picked
TBR.
2.
It says picks.
Sarah said
most
2.
anticipated picks. I thought I could do more than one.
That is true. You got it.
But
Sarah
also is an English teacher, goddammit. She doesn't know the counts.
Anyway, one is already out, and it's on my shelf, and I kind of forgotten about it because I was doing Christmas reads and stuff. Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. She wrote the Divine Rivals series, Letters of Enchantment. Oh,
Yeah.
I loved that series. So picked that one up. Cannot wait. And then the second book by Rachel Gillig for her new duology, The Knave and the Moon, comes out this year. So that's what I'm looking forward to. One on my shelf and one coming out.
Got it.
How about you, Marianne?
Fair.
Do I get to pick more than one?
Yes.
Yep.
Says
Yes,
picks.
Picks.
Says
Okay.
picks.
Okay.
That's
so
on me. I said picks.
I got yesterday, I got the arc for Christina Lauren's next book. It's called The
Nice.
Romance Revival. I got it the same day I requested it, the same day it was released onto NetGalley. So I was so excited. So it's called The Romance Revival by Christina Lauren. Super excited for that. Also super excited for The Shippers by Catherine Center, which I also have the arc for that one. And there's a couple others. Christy Woodson Harvey is a Southern women's fiction writer. Got her Summer State of Mind. She's just she writes about South Carolina, just people who have way too much money than sense. And but I just like her. But they're just kind of relaxing, fun books. So those are 3 that I'm really looking forward to. Where they're I'm kind of saving for when I can relax and after Christmas when I can relax and really enjoy those arcs. They all come out this coming year. So how about you, Kit?
I picked just one. Although I did see, I said earlier, one of my favorite authors posted something about a new book coming out, and now I cannot find it anywhere. It was like a story, so it disappeared. So at some point, there will be one by Andrew Joseph White that I'm very excited about. They're super crazy body horror YA books that you cringe your entire way through, but the messaging that's inside of it is so good. But every book they've published, I immediately buy. I don't even bother with the Kindle. It's going right on my shelf. The covers are always creepy amazing. They're just really, really good books. So whatever that one is, I'm very excited for it. But the one I picked was by Olivia Dade, who is my favorite romance author. I know we've all read some of her books. She has one that I feel is tailor-made. It's perfect. Because one of her other books, didn't she had, I think Sarah, you read it maybe, where there was a line of it in it about tentacle porn.
The Spite
or something
one.
like that.
At First Spite.
At First Spite.
Yeah.
So the one that she has coming out this summer is called The World's Okayest Oracle Reluctantly Seeks a Demon. And here's the tagline for it. It's an oracle who can see the future teams up with a far too hot demon from her past to avert catastrophe. It's a steamy romance. Steamy paranormal romance. And one of the hallmarks of her books are that the main female character is always a totally normal person. Even if it's an oracle, we're not she's a normal sized human.
Right.
She deals with totally normal issues like anxiety, depression, family issues. So I really am excited to see how she takes those kind of characters and puts a paranormal twist on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think she's going to knock it out of the park. Honestly, I think it's going to be hilarious. And the way she peddles tropes.
Yes.
Are always top notch. There's some of my favorite scenes from books, across the board. My favorite only one bed scene is from All the Feels by Olivia Dade. my favorite lovers to enemies to lovers is from Shipwrecked by Olivia Dade. Like, she is so good at like
doesn't even come out
knowing.
till August 11th.
I
We have to
know.
wait that because I want to read it now too.
And
I'm
it's
like,
not.
what?
I check Edelweiss for it because you guys use NetGalley. I use Edelweiss. It's listed but not available for request yet.
Oh, okay.
I watch it obsessively. Every time I check on Edelweiss, I'm like, is it time? Is it time for me to get this one? Because I've reviewed all of her other books on Edelweiss, so I'm sure they will approve.
All right, so it's a pretty good wrap up, even though some of us cannot math right and pick more than 5 or
I feel like that was like an
or...
intentional thing. It wasn't like, ooh, I can't count to 5. It was like 5 is too low. I shall pick 9.
It's too low, yes. But before we go, here's a reminder of what you can expect from Read, Eat, Travel, Repeat. Every month we bring you 2 episodes, one deep dive into a featured book club pick, and one where we recap the books we've been reading, loving, and of course adding to our TBRs. All genres. If you've listened at all to us and even listening to these top books, you see that the 3 of us read very different books. So you're bound to get at least a couple recommendations.
Someone at the market called us a book boy band.
Yes, I like that.
When I was like explaining that like each person has a different reading personality, and they're like a boy band.
Like
I
a
was
boy
like,
band.
Yes.
I kind of feel like that might need to be our new tagline: the boy band of book clubs.
Yes, the boy band of book clubs. That's a t-shirt.
It is. I know. Read, Eat, Travel, Repeat. The boy band.
The boy band of book clubs.
Okay, so if you want to read along with us or share what you're reading, make sure you're following us on social media. We're especially active on Instagram and TikTok, where we post updates, behind the scenes moments, and book stacks, food adventures, and more.
Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review from wherever you're listening. It truly helps the show grow and lets us know what you enjoy. And as always, if there's a book you want us to feature or an author you'd love to hear us talk about, reach out on the socials. Let us know. We will add pretty much anything because at least one of us is going to be
At least one of us will read it.
That's right.
Usually multiple, but yeah.
Yes.
So, well,
depends
until next
you're
time.
Might just be me.
Just be you. So until next time, keep reading.
Keep exploring.
And don't forget to pack the snacks.
Yeah.
2025. Done. Yo.